Waked all summer and all the fall. Had to take my Christmas in overalls. Now she's gone and I don't worry. I'm sitting on top of the world. When I had you, baby, you wouldn't treat me right. You stayed away both day and night. Now she's gone and I don't worry. I'm sitting on top of the world. It's been days when I didn't know your name. Why should I cry in vain? Now she's gone and I don't worry. I'm sitting on top of the world.
Newport Bridge. Here we are in Jamestown, Rhode Island, one of the oldest towns, incorporated towns in New England. Okay, Star, give us the rundown here. We're making the meatballs for meatballs and spaghetti. Heidi.
Salt and pepper. There's the salt so you can gauge it. We don't. I don't think we have pepper.
So what are we putting in the ingredients here, Ma?
Egg whites, right now?
How many eggs in a batch?
Well, I think, how many people are we preparing for?
Probably about 20.
Well, so we've got how many pounds of meat, Heidi?
We have got, what did you tell me, Jack?
4.
3 pounds of hamburger.
3 hamburg and 1 pork. What do you think, 2 or 3 eggs, Ma?
I'm putting 4.
4 eggs.
Salt, pepper.
Salt, pepper.
Salt and pepper, what a... I don't know how much for this quantity since I don't normally cook for this many.
Heidi, you didn't get the pepper like I instructed you, but...
It wasn't on my list.
Okay.
We have 3 1/4 pounds.
You want me to go get you a bell pepper quick?
We've got one.
Okay.
We need pepper, don't we? Black pepper.
You got that shaker up there to grind it. Salt.
A dash of Parmesan cheese.
Dash of Parmesan. I remember coming home from school, Ma, you'd have these on the stove, your meatballs.
Well, that's the thing, you should have the sauce. Make your own sauce.
You'd have them on the stove. That was our snack, Heidi, remember?
Yeah, we'd dip in.
Nice bread and a couple of meatballs and sauce.
I remember Mom's stewed tomatoes with basil that she canned herself.
Oh, yeah.
With
noodles?
Pasta, butter, and stewed tomatoes.
Oh, my God.
Oh my god.
Okay, just mix it all with your hands. I don't know, we don't have pepper.
We want onions, don't we?
I
Yeah.
meant to get an onion.
There's onions.
You wash those hands first, Star?
Oh yeah.
There's some little spice and other cupboard with a lot of
Oops.
Is this a
Knife technique. I
is
like
this
that.
small enough?
Yeah. Ask Mom's Mabley. She's the
Mom,
boss.
is this chopped fine enough?
whatever.
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 Mom, I want to get your technique when you do the onion. I always like the way your technique there. No cutting board technique for Mom cutting the onion. You ever seen her do it?
Oh yeah, where she
Huh?
cuts it in little squares.
Don't do any cutting till we get you on camera there, Moms.
I'm just gonna
Score it.
Do it right over the pot
Huh?
with hand.
Right. I like that. You do that with the bell pepper too, or no?
It has basil in them and salt.
See how Ma does it here? No cutting board necessary.
I'm gonna get my fresh basil.
And no, don't take hers.
Oh,
And I've got it in that bag with the parsley.
okay.
Okay.
Heidi's never gonna learn to do this if she's not watching.
Heidi, you want to get your buns in here and pay attention?
There's too many people in there.
You don't want to learn. I put a good amount in.
Yeah. Can't have too much onion in the meatballs.
I don't think.
Look at that. She cuts it deep the first time so she can get two scores out of it. You
Here,
get 3 out of it?
I could get another.
Well, look at that. Look at that.
Is this a new
You
technique?
gonna go for 4 or?
No,
Huh?
no. Don't you do it this way?
I cut them on a cutting board, but I like your way.
Yeah, you cut your fingers.
Or I use the electric.
Go for 1 more.
No, I gotta put garlic. I guess the garlic is here for me to put in. I don't know what's in that sauce. It doesn't look like garlic, does it?
Garlic, and garlic's gonna be for the bread too.
Well, 2 or 3 cloves, you think?
That's the fanciest get-up for making meatballs I've ever seen, Ma.
I've just put on my new clothes that I bought to bring here, and I'm not going to get them all.
It's styling.
She got commandeered into
What do you put in there, Star? Basil? Fresh basil?
and
I wasn't
basil
planning to do
and
any
parsley.
food shopping or preparation while I was.
Yeah, they roped you into this, Ma.
She's gonna do
I
her
opened
thing
up too
when
much.
everybody's out of the kitchen. She just wants to be have a fresh kitchen.
Spoken too candidly too often. I guess it's better to express yourself than hold it in.
Well, you certainly have done that the last few days, I'd say.
It goes for all of us. It is better to express yourself.
No matter how candid.
I used to be a mousy little thing that didn't say anything.
Direct is good.
Huh?
Direct is good.
Yeah, I've learned that. It's good to express yourself.
Well, it's some big parsley, but
Okay.
it'd be tasty. It'd be tasty.
She said, Mom
you
said
can't
whatever.
Have, you can't have too much.
I'll break it up.
Especially that's going to be so blah sauce with nothing in it. Mushrooms.
You want to sit with the spaghetti sauce all day, Mom? I don't.
You don't have to sit with it all day. You just
Yeah,
put it on low.
I'm
Simmer.
it's going to be enough to do all this time before everybody does.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Good to get started early.
I don't have
Same technique with the garlic as the
I don't
onions.
have a very sharp knife here. I have a serrated.
Look at that. Yeah.
She's a
I
wizard.
use a cutting board, but
Here.
it's too late now.
So then what, we mix it all together,
With your hands.
form them into balls
Yeah.
in the oven, Star?
Oh yeah.
In the oven.
No. I would do it in the oven, but you guys like it in oil.
Your way.
No,
Well, it's Heidi. Heidi's
It's
the
more
boss.
it's more flavorful.
Heidi's the boss.
Heidi's
Let her
way.
just make that big decision.
Uh-oh, here we going. Those hands clean, Ma? You washed them?
Yeah, you never know where they've been, do you? You will never know. You will never know where they've been.
You know, Dad used to say, but no matter what, if they're clean or not, they'll sure be clean when you get done.
That's right.
Especially under the fingernails. Remember he used to say that?
Had some funny expressions.
No.
I thought of him so much yesterday, some of the riffs, the piano riffs. He really had some good piano moves.
changed those.
I know.
But Jill was the
Jill was
expert. She could
marvelous.
compose.
Marvelous, yes. Poor thing.
She's in a nursing home now or what?
No idea. I asked Jimmy if she was still alive because she called him because she had eye problem like Josh and
Wow.
gave her Josh's.
Macular degeneration?
I guess so. I'm not sure.
No, she doesn't have the same eye problem. She's actually
That's what I said.
he has something else.
Well, I understand that, but she somehow knew that Josh had an eye problem, and she called him to get Josh's.
Yeah, she was trying to find out if she had the same thing, right?
Well, I don't know for what reason she was calling, but anyhow, I think she used to communicate. I need more
Salt? Breadcrumbs?
breadcrumbs. I think she used
Start,
to
put a little more
communicate with
breadcrumb in
Jimmy.
there.
Sure.
That's why I asked him if she was still alive. I don't know that Pear's even in the picture. He probably went back to Sweden. And
Heidi's stepping in. Look at her come to the rescue. Heidi.
Yeah, you used the one.
Look at Heidi come in. Swoop right in. Good job.
We probably need more.
They'll be right here,
Nice job, Mule.
always ready to assist.
Just say when.
We didn't put pepper because we didn't have pepper.
This is all we've got.
You can't. I don't think that's going to do much.
That's all we've got.
We need some music on or what, kids? Huh?
Some bawling music.
Bawling music? That could be taken many ways, Mom.
Right, there's that
What do we need that for, Mom?
too. Who knows? I don't know.
Working it, baby. Work it, Mom.
You do kind of fairly large meatballs, right, Mom? Mine too big?
Whatever.
You got your skillet hot?
Getting hot.
I put them right in.
No, they're not.
Put them right in the
No, I don't
middle.
want to yet.
Okay.
Listen to Mom, Heidi. Put them in there.
Way, just
Easy, Ma.
I'll watch that in a minute, Mom. Heidi's gonna put away dishes for me.
Heidi, do you normally like grab a meatball or two when they're done cooking?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you don't wait till the dinner.
No, you gotta test them.
Yeah.
See how they are, how you've done.
Yeah, Heidi's the one that rips the skin off the turkey before it hits the
Yeah.
table. And takes the end cut off the roast as soon as it comes out of the oven.
Or make claims to it.
Yeah, watch Heidi like a hawk. Always grabs a shrimp cocktail or two before they hit the table.
I like to be
part of the
preferred.
turkey that goes over the fence last is tasty.
Yeah, the Pope's nose, as Aunt Liv used to say.
Very tasty.
Okay, Ma, you're looking styling now. Nice outfit. I like that necklace.
Thank you.
Where'd that come from?
I don't know. The ocean.
Now we're doing the turkey meatballs also.
Yeah. That'd be nice. Hear that snap, crackle, and pop? Here, look out, Heidi. Yeah, baby. Yeah, Heidi and deviled eggs, forget about it. You better make
She's the macaroni and potato salad. Also.
macaroni and potato salad combo.
Not together, no.
Holly was saying there's one her friend made all together.
Yeah, Mary Lou made it. Excellent. Awesome.
Yes, Ma.
Before, while you're taping, Rick gave me the most...
Hold on. Okay. Okay, Ma. No, what were you saying about the Rick gave you?
Me a very special birthday present that he created with pennies from his grandfather's collection. Your grandfather had been collecting for how many? Come on, Rick. How many years?
He's 90.
Since 1692? Since not that I can't.
92 years old.
He's been collecting for more than 60 years.
Okay.
All right. So it's our complete family history. He's got a penny for your father, John Howard Chaplin.
The year?
Yes. Born 1922.
Yeah.
He's got one for me, Phyllis Jean, starring Chaplin, 1926.
Yeah.
He's got one for starring Chaplin, 1948. Pamela Chaplin, 1950.
Yeah.
Holly Chaplin Millay, 1954. Heidi Chaplin Armstrong, 1956. John Howard Chaplin III, 1958.
Yeah, that's me. Okay.
Okay, now we've got David Bruce Armstrong Jr., 1982.
Wow.
Then comes Jillian.
Then Jillian Ann Crowley, 1982.
Yeah.
Carrie Elizabeth Armstrong, 1983. Aaron Benjamin Crowley. Have we got Dennis?
No.
Dennis and Dave.
Okay, 1985. Mia Allison Millay. We've got, wait a minute, Kevin Millay is under Holly.
Okay.
1953.
Oh, he's an old man, huh, Kevin? I didn't know that.
Okay, we've got John. Oh, now I think I goofed a little bit.
Okay, go ahead.
I've got Daniel Richard Angel, 1961.
Yeah.
John Howard Chaplin III, 1958. And Marna Susie Morosi Chaplin, 1961.
Is that it?
Well, no, I think I goofed a little bit.
Just read what's in front of you. Don't.
Cross from left to right by age.
David Bruce Armstrong Jr., 1982. Jillian Ann Crowley.
You already did that.
Okay.
Go to the next row.
Matthew Chaplin Millay.
Yeah.
1988. Marissa Ann Hopkins, 1995. You've got Jillian.
You already did Jillian, yeah.
Rachel.
Yeah, not yet.
Rachel Gabriella,
Yeah.
1988. I don't know what I'm doing here.
Let's read straight across.
Straight across is Madeline Rose Millay,
Right.
1990. Lucy Elizabeth Chaplin, 91.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yes, Marissa Ann, you've got her already.
Next generations, huh?
Yeah. 1997, Jaden Tyler Armstrong, 2004.
Wow.
Kaylin Rose McCabe, 205. And Ryan Christopher Armstrong, 2009. I hope I haven't mixed it up too much. Have I?
No, you just go left to right.
You got it already.
By and
He's got all these.
Beautiful.
He's got all the.
Come on in, Rick.
He has a penny,
Okay. Beautiful job.
and he's polished them all.
Polished pennies.
Huh?
Polished pennies. Look how new it looks.
He's
Wow.
found them all in a huge container. There's his
How new they
grandfather.
Hold on.
Went through how many?
Hold on. Hold on. Hold him still. Beautiful.
How many pennies were in the container?
I went through 6,000 pennies to get all these.
Very thoughtful, Rick. Let's hold on. Well, all shiny. You did put some
He's polished.
Elbow grease.
I would like to say that
hold on.
I did the typesetting, the creative.
Hold on. Hold him still, Rick.
I was going to get to that, Heidi.
The first time, you got it right the first time.
You've got to get in the picture.
But I'm hearing now that I didn't get Kevin's middle name. Kevin Millay. What's his middle name? I don't know.
Rick, I want to thank you very much.
Can you read that?
Just hold it straight up, more straight up.
You want me to read it?
Huh?
Let me read
Hold on. Okay, hold on.
Tell it. You get in, Heidi. Tell what you did.
No.
What?
No.
Of course.
I want to thank you very much for making us all look bad.
Stop. Would you like to read the narration?
Hey, no, let's hear what you've done in this project.
With my typesetting skills.
Yeah,
I would have
major
to
skills.
say Major skills.
You held together the information.
All the information, typesetting.
I'm the.
Yeah, we already saw that. We saw all that.
And I created this page with everyone's.
With the holes and everything?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I cut those out with an X-Acto knife. She got it perfect the first time.
Wow.
Yeah, perfect the first time.
Look at that shine coming off it. Look at it, Rick. Look at that shine coming off the light.
A lot of elbow grease.
Who's that for?
1926 had a lot of tarnish on it.
Wow. You couldn't get it. Who was 26, Mom?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, go ahead and read it, Star.
Now this Rick wrote himself.
Wait a minute, we need to cut the music down.
We can hear it, Rick.
Oh, leave the music in the back.
No, Rick, we got it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Rick writes, each of these pennies started their lives in the same years you and your lineage started theirs. While the total of all the coins isn't worth much, the lives surrounding you are immeasurable. It's remarkable how both have traveled to countless destinations, but for today, they have returned to this place in honor of you. Each has had a diverse history, to be sure. They have gone through times of war and times of peace, good times and bad. Over time, however, the facade of each has been tarnished and worn, the luster of their newness dulled by the day-to-day aging process. It is not until they find someone who cares about them enough to provide love and the willingness to bring back the inner brilliance that their luster can be restored. Only with the salvation of our Lord Jesus Christ can we have a chance to have an everlasting life that will outlive the lives of these pennies. Without Him, our lives literally are not worth 1 red cent. It is with love and affection that we give this ongoing collection as a gift to celebrate your 83rd birthday. Happy birthday, Jean, Rick Angel.
Rick, that was very tremendous, Rick. Those words, and Mom, it's you got to feel pretty special that that somebody went to that kind of trouble to give you such a beautiful gift. Huh?
Yes.
Well, you're a special lady, and it's wonderful to see that somebody appreciates you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mom. Happy birthday to you, and many more.
Yeah, this is just.
Okay, we're at Zeek's Creek Bait and Tackle here on Jamestown, Rhode Island. It's North Road. You don't get any fresher seafood anywhere in the United States. I'm talking the whole United States than Zeek's Creek. You can get your bait, you want to go fishing and catch your own, or you can buy the best fish available. I've never had. They sliced some up the other day for me, did them some soy sauce and some wasabi, and better than any sushi restaurant you'd ever find in the whole country. Look at this view. Zeek's Creek Bait and Tackle. That's the other side of the bay, or other side of the road. We went clamming the other day at low tide, 4 o'clock low tide. Live lobsters here. All kinds of fresh fish, sword, tuna, cod, salmon, flounder, shrimp, steamers, freshest scallops right from the boat. The fisherman, lobster fisherman came in the other day, brought lobsters in, had scallops right off the boat. Can't beat Zeek's. How long you been here working at Zeek's?
I've worked here for about 5 years.
5 years? What do you like most about what you do here?
I like the attitude of the shop. It's very relaxed, laid back, kind of island life. I like the setting. As you can see, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And especially on nice warm days like this, because I don't have air conditioning in my house.
Is that right? This place stays pretty cool here, I guess, with the lobster tanks.
Oh yeah.
The chilled water.
We've got 2 ACs going, and we've got our fish case has a refrigeration system, which keeps the place pretty cool.
Yeah, it's ideal. You got to keep. You got to definitely keep the fish. Your seafood here is tremendous. But you were saying Greg's the owner.
Yes, he is.
And he said you like the son that he wishes he could have, and never have, or he just said you're just a great like a son. But you also go out fishing and catch the fish you sell here at the shop.
Yep, I go out with Greg, and last time I went out with Greg and his daughter Samantha, and we caught a bunch of bluefish and some striped bass, and we had a lot of fun.
Wow. That's the fringe benefit of the job, and all part of the job, right?
Yeah.
That's tremendous. So what time you usually go out after you're done here?
After work. I don't know, last time we left around 8 o'clock.
8 at night when it's dark, huh?
Yeah. Well, it's just dusk.
Yeah.
And then we fished until about 1 in the morning.
1 in the morning?
Which for Greg is an early night. He usually gets in around 2 or 3.
Really? Then what time do you start here at the shop?
I usually start, on weekdays I start at 12, which gives me plenty of time to sleep.
So the shop's not open till noon?
No, it opens at 9 o'clock.
9?
And weekdays we're open 9 to 7, weekends we're open 7 to 7.
Man, that's great. That's all bait and tackle for you want to do your own fishing and catch your own fish. Rods, reels.
Well, they haven't catching a lot of small bass. Okay. Nothing really big.
Hooks and lures. Live bait tank. Okay, we're here at the Zeek's on the creek. Zeek's Creek Seafood. Greg's rewinding a reel. Look at that, that's pretty neat.
I've actually
got a machine-driven reel, huh?
Yeah, just an old sewing machine motor, basically. The old guy that I had bought this place from rigged this up for me, and I mean, they make good line machines, but this one works just fine.
A sewing machine is pretty durable, I would think.
Yeah, it works out. I had to replace the motor once, but
yeah,
it works pretty well.
Are you doing this for a customer?
Yeah, he wanted this Power Pro braid line on, so I'm rigging up a couple of rods for him.
Braid line? How many pound? What kind of a pound fish could you pull in on a braided line? They don't snap easily, do they?
Well, no. This is actually 50-pound braid. It's only 12-pound test diameter, but you have to put monofilament on behind it or it'll slip on the reel.
Yep.
It's a slippery type of line, but real thin diameter stuff.
Man, that's really cool.
Good for bass and blues. They use the heavier stuff for tuna and all kinds of other stuff.
Yeah. You catch any tuna yourself?
Occasionally, if I go out, with friends or something, but I haven't been tuna fishing in a long time.
Yeah.
It just takes.
You got to go far out to get them.
Yeah, and it's hard for me to leave the store for a couple of days or an overnight trip. It's just hard to do.
Yeah. Now you've been running the store here for, you said, 25 years?
Yeah, 25 years.
And you do bait as well as selling the freshest seafood available and anywhere. And
yeah, and I try and catch what I can too, because I still have my permits and stuff. So
that's fantastic.
The stuff that's open and legal for me to catch, I go catch.
Yeah, which you were catching some striped bass, but that season they shut it down just recently?
Yeah, there's a quota that was reached, and once the quota's reached, they close it down, and yeah, so that season ended. They just ended fluke season this week, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, summer flounders, so
wow.
It's kind of a drag. That just came up spur of the moment. Once they assess the quota
and
realize what the number is, they just close it, immediately.
Now that's what fluke is summer flounder?
Yes, right. That's our local summer flounder.
Wow. I think it's some of the best fish you can eat is the flounder, fluke flounder.
It is. It's a delicious fish.
Well, fun to catch as well, isn't it?
It's a blast. Good fish to get the family out fishing for. It's usually a pretty abundant fish, and you can just have a blast catching them.
Now, where do you catch them? Off about 100 feet deep?
No, anywhere really from 20 feet to 60, 80 feet.
Really?
I usually fish in the 40 to 50 foot range. It seems to be a real...
Close to shore?
Reasonably close to shore. I mean, there's some humps out further from shore that are that depth, so, I mean, I'll just be, looking for sandy, gravelly spots that, with fluke you can go hunting for them. I mean, you can actually look in a lot of different spots, and they're a fun fish to fish for. They're kind of all over the place.
The big one's like pulling up a doormat.
That's what they call them, doormat. Yep. My kids have caught some real big ones. My daughter Samantha had a 10.5 pounder a couple of years ago, which is way bigger than any I've caught. And,
wow, 10.5 pounders.
My youngest daughter Madeline, she had a 9.5 pounder 2 years ago. So that's bigger than any I've ever caught. They both have got me beat.
Yeah, we saw it. Does Madeline work here at the store with you?
She works sometimes at the store, but you might have met Samantha.
Yeah, we met Samantha.
She's my middle daughter, and then my oldest daughter Emily also has worked here a lot in the past. However, this summer she had a baby about 2 weeks ago. So
oh, congratulations.
She's kind of busy with all that kind of details.
Yeah, it was nice to meet Samantha working here, and I've got her cutting some beautiful tuna.
Oh yeah.
And you whipped up some sushi with some cut sashimi, the tuna, and then the most beautiful tuna I've ever seen. And then you had a salmon, really thinly sliced, and the sea scallops that you get here at the store. Those are the freshest, the dry scallops?
Oh yeah, dry sea scallops, usually right off the boat. And I used to work on a lot of these different boats.
So who brings them in? Like the local fishermen will drop them off to you?
No, I actually go pick them up through a distributor in Point Judith, but the fishing boat's tied right up at his dock, and I know the captains, and I know the owner of that company, and it's just a matter of where you have to land them through the dock where they tie up at. So
yeah,
I get my pick of the scallops. So.
Yeah, you have some delicious a high-grade soy sauce here, and that wasabi. It was like a creamy wasabi that you had.
It's Gold's wasabi sauce. We can walk out there.
Gold's wasabi sauce. Yeah, but I tell you what, the beauty of that is the flavor still comes through the species.
Oh, it sure does. That's not too hot.
It doesn't all taste the same. The scallop, the flavor of each particular fish really came through. It was. I tell you, the best sushi I've ever had in my life. Best tasting fish I ever had in my life, cooked or raw. It was great.
Yeah, I enjoy it. We do that here quite often when the fish is just too much for us to look at. That's why we got all that wasabi and soy sauce. We just can't get out of the case and have to eat something. It's a great way to have a quick, really nutritious lunch too, or just an afternoon.
A little bit, I noticed, just a few ounces really fills you up, and it sustains you.
It's like all protein, so it's all good.
Well, it's great. Thanks, Ted, for taking the opportunity here the time to. I can shoot the film here, and Samantha was saying she's going over to Australia. That'd be a neat experience for her to see that part of the world and the fish. And
she's a pretty adventurous girl. I'm sure she's going to do some fishing while she's over there.
Jeez.
Snorkeling and stuff like that, and I'm sure she'll try all the seafood that they have available over there, because she just loves to experiment, and she's a very adventurous person.
Well, I think it's great that you're able to work here and maintain your family life by bringing your family into the business, and I did the same thing with the restaurant business. I take my younger daughters to the market with me, and they hang out at the restaurant, take reservations, and I like to see a true family business. It's great.
Yeah, it's really been a great thing for me too. I mean, just like you say, having your family down here and your kids down here working, and it's good for them too, dealing with customers and seeing how it all works and seeing what your dad does for a living, how much stuff he's got to go through. It's been a real good thing. It's been like living a dream, really. I didn't realize it when I got into it, but boy, it just turned into, this whole place became just part of me.
Well, you got a wonderful setting here on, what do you call it, Zeek Creek? Is Zeek Creek?
It's actually called Great Creek. Great, G-R-E-A-T, Great Creek.
Yeah, we went clamming there the other day, got a few clams out of there for our chumpino that we made the other night.
That was delicious, too.
You tried it?
Man, that was outrageous.
Now, that was, it's Harry?
Yeah, Harry.
Harry works with you, and But you also, he was saying you also head out to fish together.
Yeah.
You head out of here after work at 4:30, and he said you...
more like 7 to 7:30.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
And then you fish until 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning sometimes?
Yeah, usually that's about when I end. I try and fish a whole tide. So,
yeah.
You know, a tide's about 6 hours, so I try and get the whole tide. And usually in that period, I can find what I'm looking for somewhere.
Wow.
So, you know, that's why I need I hate to be under a time limit, because it seems like right about the time I find what I'm looking for with the fish, it's like, oh no, I gotta go home, and I don't like to fish like that. So
yeah.
I don't usually have a time constraint. I go out there, find what I'm looking for, and
till it's done.
Doesn't always happen like that, though.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's the good.
Well, how could you can't get any better than that, from the boat right to your fish case and
absolutely,
right to the table. Within probably a day, you could be eating the fish that was caught the same day.
Yeah, even within hours. You know,
yeah.
I mean, if I caught them at 1 o'clock in the morning and they're eating it, the next day at noontime or something, that's pretty good.
And when it comes to fish and really hours count tremendously.
Yeah, they sure do.
Maintaining
and how you handle them counts. Yeah. Bleeding them immediately, getting them on ice immediately.
Yeah.
All that's like so important.
Oh yeah. Well, it's great. We'll take a walk out front and talk some more. Thanks a lot, Greg.
Sure.
The other day, and Greg was telling me about lobstering and the hassles he's gone through trying to maintain his lobster license, and if you could explain a little bit what you've been through with that.
Sure, Jack. I moved down here when I was about 12 years old and went lobster fishing with a gentleman, and I just fell in love with it. It was just like Christmas. Every time you pulled the trap up, there was always neat stuff in it, from lobsters to fish to everything. Decided, I guess then, that's kind of what I wanted to do, much to my parents' despair, really. And I went to U.R.I, School of Commercial Fisheries, in the mid-70s. Got a degree in commercial fishing and fisheries management. And right out of school, I bought a lobster boat and went lobster fishing. And I did that until I graduated from U.R.I in '77 and lobster fished until about the year 2000. And just became my life. I just love lobster fishing. I love lobsters. They're neat creatures.
Yeah.
About the year 2000, the industry kind of collapsed around here in Rhode Island due to a lot of different things. Really not being overfished, just there's a shell disease that got into the lobsters, and just a lot of things that came into place. Never one thing that hurts the species. It's always a lot of things.
Very delicate species too, right? Environmentally, they're the kind of the canary in the coal mine.
Well, yeah, and once something starts to decline like that, and then you don't really have answers why, it's hard to put your finger on it and stop it. And so the feds came up with a plan the federal government came up with a plan to put a limit on the fisheries of some sort, and gave it to the states to come up with a plan to actually, limit it a bit more, and with the Rhode Island Lobstermen's Association kind of telling the state what they thought should be done, which was to get rid of all the lobstermen that didn't fish during a certain period of time. Well, that period of time happened to be from 2000 to 2005, when the lobsters had collapsed and it really was not economical to fish for them. A lot of us stopped fishing for them and still paid for a license, figuring that, well, we have a multi-species permit, so let's fish for other species, kind of the way what should be done.
Like a crop rotation, like farmers doing crop rotation.
Exactly. Move on to another species and come back to harvest the lobsters when they get plentiful again. Like I say, we paid for our licenses and just didn't fish.
And maintained your license all that time.
Right, and just didn't fish for that period because, again, it wasn't economical. It was not going to be profitable, and it was better for the lobsters, what we thought, to take the pressure off of them and fish for other species. Well, in 2005 or 6, I forget at this time what year it was, but the state came through with this thing following the Rhode Island Lobstermen's recommendation, Rhode Island Lobster Association's recommendation, that they should just take anybody that didn't fish from 2001 to 2005 and eliminate them from the fishery. Even though they paid for the license, and we all thought the fishery should have been closed down for that period. So basically the state did that, and now I can never go lobster fishing again. doesn't seem right to me. I did all the right things.
Now they took 700 licenses and reduced them down to about 100.
I think it was close to 900.
900.
It's down to maybe 150 licenses left. They actually privatized the industry with the 800 trap tags or trap their allocation. They can sell that to another person, where before this you never...
Profiteer, you know, it creates a market for profiteers.
Right, let's say lobsters, I mean, there's no lobsters now and the trap permits aren't worth a whole lot of money. Let's say in 5 years there's a lot of lobsters, they're going to be able to get $1,000 a trap tag or an outlet. So, I mean, the state basically gave these people a business worth $800,000 if they so chose to sell their lobster tags for that price.
Now, who makes up the Lobster Association? The lobstermen themselves?
It was just an organization that formed. By the numbers, you can tell that there weren't the majority of the lobstermen in that. There were only 100. I don't know what their numbers are, but 100 and some people. And I was actually told, well, while this was being implemented, that I should probably lie in my logbooks and say that I was lobstering during that period. And I've never had to lie before. I thought I was doing everything the right way. And,
it's supposed to be a free country, and this country was founded on making a living and you know, off the land and off what the earth provides, and they're here. They're interceding and blocking you from making your living.
Well, obviously there needed to be some kind of limit set for the fishermen, but it just seemed like it could have been done more equitably, and fishermen like myself who have a history of fishing from 1977 to 2000 with all those landings should have been given some part of the pie. Like, instead of the small group of people given 800 traps, maybe we all should have been given 300 or 400 traps and
spread it out over 500 or 600.
Yep. In Rhode Island, lobstering is supposed to be part of the state constitution. Says that it's a free and common fishery. It's supposed to be open to everyone, and they just completely limited it with, you know, no other answer for them. I don't know how they came up with this. It just seems so immoral and not right.
What kind of recourse do you have that you can go? It's not like you can get a lobbyist and lobby for your cause, and there's not a whole lot of money in lobstering to begin with. And
no, we're just, you know, a bunch of people struggling to make a living. So we formed an association and we're fighting it, but it's just a small group of grassroots people fighting with our own money, and we're fighting the state of Rhode Island Department of Environmental Management, and you know, they're fighting with our money too. So it's a lose-lose situation. It's been a couple of years now. We haven't won the battle. We're still losing.
You see anything on the horizon of them opening up more licenses and I mean, you have all your traps ready, set to go, but in dry storage, and you can't utilize them.
They're kind of stacked up in the yard, and there's vines and stuff growing through them. Because, I mean, there's not much I can do with them at this point. They're becoming an eyesore.
How many lobsters at estimate would you have caught in a good year? You could be able to sell through your business. And
well, I only fished out of a small boat and really just tried to supply myself with lobsters. So, boy, I don't even have a good guess for it.
Didn't wholesale them out, just sold them up.
Well, originally, before I had this place, I wholesaled them out. But once I got this place, I pretty much just ran them through the store, and that way I could put them out at a pretty good price, and even a cheaper price if I needed to. During the winter, I kept lobster and I'd sell them to other places because I closed this place down in the winter. But,
you still do close it down in the winter?
Oh yeah, it's not much worth it after. We're a lot of tourist related, you know, kind of, and after Columbus Day, it pretty much dies out. Yeah.
So what do you do the rest of the year?
Try and have fun.
Oh, good.
You know, I used to lobster through the winter. The state doesn't let me do that anymore. I help my wife with her business, which is daycare for about 10 little kids, and pick up odd jobs, and try to do a lot of hunting.
Oh yeah? Well, you certainly work hard here to maintain the quality, and boy, I tell you, I've never seen anybody as dedicated to their business of selling seafood, that you limit the amount in your cases to sell out fresh every day and bring in fresh every day. I've been here 4 or 5 days, and every day you have new product coming in every day. I love to see that.
Well, when you have a place like this, I think in order to make it successful, you kind of got to be married to it. It's a 7-day-a-week job for 6 months, and that's pretty much what I do. I've got really good help here, and they let me get away occasionally. Sunday I actually had a day off. It wasn't a very nice day. We went to the beach. It was a family day. It didn't matter if it was a nice day. We had a good
You're
time.
all together, yeah.
Just be at the family, at the beach with the family, and having a nice picnic. Like I say, it wasn't that nice, but it was good to get away.
You have to take that time. They grow up so fast, and now as much time as you can with Sam that she's leaving, and younger daughter's growing up fast. And
that's for sure. And in a lot of ways, I feel lucky that they've been able to be down at this beautiful place with me so much.
Oh yeah.
In here working, we have kayaks. They're out in the creek kayaking.
Is that right?
They might go out and catch all the crabs I need for the bait, for that day.
No kidding.
Or whatever. So they've pretty much been able to do it all with me. I mean, when I was lobster, they came out in a lobster boat with me. They commercially fluke fish with me, and they'll come out striper fishing with me. So my kids spend a lot of time with me, and I sure enjoy that.
Well, it's obvious in their demeanor. They've got a smile on her face the whole time, and interacting with the customers. And I love to see that direct interaction and hands-on, and sharing knowledge and information with the customers, and providing them such a beautiful product. It's really a pleasure to. We made a chumpino the other night, and you had some. I put some of your tuna and some swordfish and the scallops. We ate a few of those scallops raw, and really, I highly recommend the Zeek's Creek Seafood in Jamestown, Rhode Island, North Road. Just a few miles off the exit as you come over the bridge from the mainland of Rhode Island, and I highly recommend it. I voted the best small retail fish market in the country. Daddy Jack's cooking with the blues.
Well, sure, thanks for that, Jack. I appreciate that. I work hard at it. Thank you.
It shows, and we're the beneficiaries of your hard work.
Thanks.
Okay, Greg.
I love my customers.
And they love you. Take care now.
All right.
If you need bait, if you need any tackle, you have fishing rods here, nets to go crabbing, and what better place to come in here and grab a rod and a reel and go fishing, some bait with your family. That's a great time. You create memories that last a lifetime.
Yep, and then if you don't catch the fish, you can come back and we'll throw it at you.
You won't go hungry.
That's right, that's right.
All right, Greg, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jack.
Okay, take care now. It's not the first day, but when you're here 2 days in a row, or 2 days that I'm here.
That's right.
Now you're from where?
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin?
Right.
So you know good fish up there in Wisconsin?
No, right here.
Huh?
Fish is here, not in Wisconsin. We don't buy it in Wisconsin.
That's right here. I don't eat fish at home.
Well, you eat his
They eat fish every day here on their vacation.
I eat his fish at home in the winter.
And I pack it all up for them so they can take it back with them.
Is that right?
Oh yeah.
So they can take
Now what do you like? What's your
sword, blue, striper,
tuna,
tuna, right?
flounder.
What's your name?
We don't take flounder home.
No, not home, but we eat it.
Oh, we eat it here.
What are your names?
John Clark,
Peter Clark.
John and Peter?
Yeah.
Dad and son?
Yeah.
Hey, so what do you come up here to Jamestown for what?
Every year vacation.
How long?
2 months.
2 months?
2 weeks for me.
Hey,
I'm not retired like he is.
Man, you got it made in the shade, huh?
Well, yeah.
You got to survive those cold winters up in Wisconsin, though.
Right. Well, that's right. Yeah.
You do any fishing up there? You don't mess with it up there.
Zeek does the fishing.
And the winters are a little better if they take all that fish back.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I just voted Zeek's Creek Seafood Market, or what do you want to?
Yeah, market. Yeah, that's fine.
I call it the best seafood market in the United States.
Correct.
Huh?
We've known that for years.
I've been coming here for over 50 years. You weren't actually here 50 years.
No, I've been here 25.
Okay, well, for 25 I've been dealing with Greg. Before that, we were dealing with whoever had it here.
So you've been coming here since you were 2 years old?
Yeah, well,
I was 6 months old.
Hey, well, thanks a lot. What are you looking for today now?
flounder today.
Flounder?
Yeah.
They in luck?
They're not going to be in luck today.
We'll wait till Thursday.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. We'll figure something else for you.
Oh no!
We always got you covered.
Oh,
John,
I know that, but
I think we're striking out with flounder.
Okay, that's fine. We were just checking to see the answer.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, because
Absolutely.
definitely
We'll have it solved. We'll have it solved for Thursday.
Okay.
How do you cook it?
On the griddle.
Griddle?
Flour and
cornmeal and egg and butter.
Oh yeah. Let that real taste of the fish come through, huh?
No mess, no fuss.
All right. Hey, thanks a lot, guys. I like about Zeek's, which I call the best gourmet small retail fish market in the country. Look at that flounder. Oh, you can't. How can you get? They catch it. Greg, the owner, and Harry go out and catch it and fillet it and bring it in fresh. The best salmon you're ever gonna find. Look how fresh that salmon is. And let's tell you about the scallops. Beautiful shrimp. The scallops, they sliced them up the other day, a little wasabi and horseradish. We ate it as sushi. They sell a really nice value, the swordfish pieces and ends. They're a very reasonable price. Bluefish that Greg has a license for. They catch and sell. He's got a special process to bleed it out so it doesn't taste strong and gamey like sometimes people find bluefish. I like that flavor of bluefish. And then the tuna. Look at that color. They sliced up some of that tuna the other day and had sushi with the wasabi and the soy. So good. We're here with Greg, and you've got a bluefish that you caught. And I see that fish, you kept it on ice. It's still, I mean, just above freezing, but the fish itself is still in rigor, it seems like.
Well, that's one of the important things, is to get them into rigor mortis as quickly as possible. All animals, when I shoot a deer, I want the same thing to happen. I want it to get into that relaxed rigor mortis kind of state.
And how do you do that? Just by chilling it down?
Well, with bluefish and stripers, and actually most fish that I want to keep, the first thing that I do when they come aboard and they're live is take a knife and cut their throat right here where this would be attached.
No kidding.
And what that does is, there's the jugular vein right there. I don't know if you can see that, but the heart would be right behind that.
Let's see, let me get a close-up on the jugular.
Right there, that little white thing.
Oh yeah.
And by cutting them right there, where you cut a bass and blues and like round fish like this, they bleed out completely, and I put them in a bucket of water head first in the back of the boat. So death is almost instantaneous. It's a little more merciful for the fish, if you will, rather than letting it lay on deck and kind of suffocate and just die. This is a much quicker death, and it's also much better for the flesh and the meat because it relaxes and doesn't get that adrenaline burn that actually can get into the flesh of the fish.
And what, it maybe makes it less, I mean, I know bluefish,
it just increases the quality of the flesh.
Yeah, it's such a delicious fish, but some people it's got a negative. They say it tastes gamey or it's oily, but
that's generally from not handling it properly. If you get it bled immediately and then right away after like 4 or 5 minutes in the bucket of bleeding out, 5 minutes that you get it into a cooler with ice and it's cold, it can be a delicious, just a real delicacy as far as the fish.
I love it. It's one of my favorites.
A lot of people like it, but you know, a lot of people have been eating that bluefish that hasn't been handled properly.
Yeah.
It can be oily and very fishy, like you said, or gamey, and just not have the quality. The quality is number one when it comes to fish. It's really good.
I had a bluefish chowder one time that was phenomenal. And I took, the other day I made a chumpino at my house. We had some lobster, we did a lobster boil and had the broth left over. And then you gave me the head and the skeletons of 2 bluefish. And I simmered them up, and I made the most incredible stock that I made the chumpino out of.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, if you handle bluefish properly, you can even make fish and chips out of it. The thing with about making something like that is after you do fillet a bluefish, there's a lot of red meat next to the skin.
Yeah. And
that's where your bad things and your PCBs and chemicals in any fish, that's where they're going to be.
The black line, the black stripe?
That red meat that's close to the skin. So if you fillet a little bit of that out, you can make fish sticks or anything out of bluefish. Bluefish can be a really good fish, but typically too, that red meat is what gives it a strong flavor. So bluefish that I prepare for myself, I usually go the next step and cut a lot of that red meat.
Trim it out.
Yeah. Some people like that flavor, so they'll leave it in, but you know.
Yeah, back in the old days, and when I was doing my apprenticeship, we used to do bluefish amandine, and we did then it became probably like blackened bluefish. Blackened bluefish, that's real nice.
Absolutely.
Hey.
Great way to have bluefish.
Well, great. Thank you very much, Greg.
Sure, Jack. Anytime.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna fillet down a bluefish. Greg's gonna show us how he does it. I like the way you prepare yourself, Greg. You wash your hands thoroughly. You got your knife. You got your knife sharp. That's the way to.
Cleanliness is godliness, isn't that what they say or something? But now, because I have a gap hole in this bluefish, I'm going to start behind that gap hole just so I don't end up with a bad piece of meat there. So I am going to waste some fish. I'd rather net them than gaff them, but that's going to be a bad piece of meat there where it bled into the gap hole.
Yep. Well. Nice clean.
Like I say, we lost a big chunk of meat on this side because of the gap hole. I'd much rather net my fish, but on this night we were sticking a gap in them all. I lost the net overboard, I think.
On this catch?
Yeah, it was one of those nights where things don't go particularly all right, and we lost the net on one of the turns of the night.
Yeah. Two nice, beautiful fillets, huh?
Yep, absolutely. It just, makes all the difference in the world. Leaving the fish out, and there's no blood that runs into the meat when you're trying to fillet it. It's just a nice, clean fillet.
Stick the knife down and just slice it between the flesh and the skin. And
yep, now we're going to skin it. And basically, you're pulling more on the skin than you are actually cutting with the knife.
Using the knife as a resistance?
Yep.
Yep.
Peels right on through.
Beautiful.
And then there's one more cut that we make because there's a set of bones right in this area here where the ribs would have been. So we're going to do a little thin cut here on either side of that line, and that's where the bones are. We'll lift that out, finish it off right there. Those bones don't continue all the way down. They just end at where the rib cage on the fish would have ended. And there you have a nice fillet. Right in there.
You pull any of that black line off usually? Off the back side?
No, because like I say, some people seem to enjoy the gaminess of it. So I leave that up to the customer. If I was going to take this home and say use it in my smoker and smoke it, I usually portion it up into pieces because it smokes better. And then I will just back fillet this red meat off and end up with nice pieces and chunks. I brine it overnight in the salt and brown sugar, and then smoke it the next day, and that's how I get some of my
You brine it in salt and brown sugar?
Yeah, the brown sugar gives it a real sweet flavor.
Wow.
And I don't like things that are too salty. It's actually use kosher salt when you do it, but I've cut down my salt recipe. Salt that I put in it quite a bit, and supplemented like about a cup of brown sugar and even some molasses and stuff like that in it, and it makes the best smoked fish.
What kind of wood do you use? Any kind of particular wood?
Any kind of wood is really good. I mean, hickory, apple wood's real good. The place that I get, the commercial place that I get all my smoked fish from, gives me a combination of maple and hickory, which is fantastic, and and that works out real well. So, but yeah, I found that the smoky flavor is what you're looking for. So
that's tremendous. You're gonna make some lucky customers are gonna get that freshly filleted fish here in a short bit when they come in.
That was swimming just hours ago. They are going to be lucky.
Straight into the case. How can you get better than that?
The only way is to catch it yourself.
Thank you very much, Greg.
Thanks, Jack.
Have a great day. About if I had any business cards, and he said you had them for the first 10 years and just word of mouth and people find you. And but then you were showing me that T-shirt that you made. You say you made it last night?
Yeah, I make this is a Japanese art form where you actually print the fish and print it on the fabric, and then heat set it, and it's pretty cool. You can do it and frame it also. If you
you actually print a live.
It's fish, of course, but yeah, you actually paint the actual fish and print it on the shirt.
That is way cool.
Use the fish as your mold, basically. Okay.
And I saw you had flounders, you had scallops. You've done what species have you done?
I've got some beautiful summer flounder.
Wow.
I've actually tried a lot of different species.
Yeah. Wow.
That's the summer flounder. All right, good. Thank you.
See you later.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Bill. Enjoy that.
I tell you, Greg. One thing I really noticed. You have probably the best educated customers when it comes to fish, you know, they come in and they ask the right questions, you know, what's coming in and this and that, and you know, you let them know, well, we don't have halibut today, but you know, it'll be in a few days. You let them know the season when it's going to be ready, and they look forward to it, and they plan their meals around your schedules of fish and your fishing, and when you're bringing it back fresh. And
well, you've been lucky enough to see some of my real regular customers that are totally repeat customers. They're probably in at least 3 times a week, and they know what to expect. They're going to get the quality they're looking for. I might not always have exactly the type of fish that they're looking for, but the quality will certainly be here, and that's the important part when you're buying good seafood, is to get the best.
Hey, if the worst case you got to settle for what's left in the case or the beautiful scallops or anything you have, is not a bad selection in the case.
That's right. That's right. It's all the best. Even if there's only a couple of things there, it's going to be the best you can get.
Hey, well, Greg, thanks for everything, and thanks for your time, and we'll make this into a segment show of Daddy Jack's Cooking with the Blues.
Well, thanks again, Jack. You're
welcome
here anytime, and I'm glad we can help you out.
Thank you, Harry. Thank you very much. Good luck in college.
Good to see you.
And thank you for that fishing hole tip. I'm not going to share it with anybody. I know that's a local spot.
Yeah, it sure is.
All right. Take care, guys.
The way you walk, I'm crazy about your walk. I love the way you walk. You my babe, I got my eyes on you. I like the way you switch. 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 You my babe, I got my eyes on you. You got dimples in your jaw. 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 You my babe, I got my eyes on you. I got my eyes on you.